Vegas tourism is still showing no signs of recovery, and the story surrounding whether Vegas is truly dead or not has not come to an end. No more 41.7 million visitors arriving each year, a total spending of $55.1 billion, and a room occupancy rate of nearly 90%. All we can see is now the empty strip, vacant betting tables, hotel lobbies are quieter than ever. The prolonged decline in visitor numbers is putting Nevada's economy on alert, as its impact far exceeds that of the hospitality industry. Shops, restaurants, taxi drivers, and tens of thousands of tourist-dependent workers are suffering the same reality: falling revenue, cutting hours, and growing survival worries. Meanwhile, CEOs still try to reassure that tourism will soon recover, but many economists warn, if Vegas doesn't really change, this collapse could become permanent. In today's video, we will look back at a very different Las Vegas, not a city of bright lights and lavish dreams, but a Las Vegas engulfed in a nightmare that has lasted for the past 9 months. How long will this nightmare last? Or will Vegas have enough magic to wake up again? Join us in finding the answer now. Perhaps the past 9 months have been a long nightmare, not only for tourists, but also for residents living in Vegas. As the tourism industry, which has been the lifeblood that has fed Las Vegas for decades, is deep in a spiral of death. For 9 consecutive months, the number of visitors to Vegas decreased sharply, falling to the lowest level since the 2008 crisis. According to data from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, LVCVA, there were only about 3.1 million visitors in the latest month, of down more than 12% over the same period last year. Large hotels along the Strip recorded a decrease in room capacity of about 80%, some even reaching only 66.7%, while the average room price also decreased from $204 USD to $193 USD night. Promotions are constantly rolling out like fabulous 5-day sale, with up to 50% off, in the hope of attracting visitors back, just like a gentle breeze blowing through an already dry desert. Locals describe their CBD now as absent as 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the week, even if it's Saturday night. Not only on the ground, that decrease also spread to the sky. Harry Reid International Airport, Las Vegas main gateway, recorded 4.56 million passengers in August, down nearly 6% over the same period last year. In total summer, Vegas ridership decreased by 4.5% compared to 2024, clear signs that tourist bleeding has not stopped. If viewing the sky and airport crowding as indicators of economic health, Las Vegas now has nothing left but emptiness and despair. Analysts say the weakening of the tourism industry is not only a consequence of the pandemic or changing consumer habits, but also a result of tariff policies and entry barriers that make international visitors shy. Amid global tightening spending, travel becomes a reasonable cut. Like a mother forced to drop the idea of buying a new dress to keep money on milk for her baby and food for the family. It sounds reasonable, but the real reason lies deeper than that. What really turns visitors away is not just the wallet, but the feeling of being squeezed out. A normal burger costs $30, a bottle of Coke costs the same as a box in Houston, and a resort fee of $65 a night just in exchange for Wi-Fi and a gym. Even things that used to be free, like parking spaces, filtered water bottles at check-in, are now priced expensive. Vegas has forgotten that people come here not to count money or remember reality, but to temporarily forget it. But now it must force them to face the burden of reality more fiercely. One tourist commented, "Las Vegas used to be a place where you were treated like a king even if you were just a worker. Now, even rich people feel taken advantage of." It is true that every pricing strategy has its purpose. Vegas is trying to move from budget dream to upscale spending model. But the bookmaker seems to have lost on this bet when even domestic high rollers to Canada or Mexico, a group of customers who are willing to spend heavily, no longer come back. A tourist on Reddit said frankly, Please drop the parking fee, quit the resort fee, Buffett discount to $19.99. Guests will return, otherwise no one will come anymore. But perhaps those suggestions cannot change a system that is so used to receiving more than it gives. The consequence, of course, does not stop at tourists no longer coming. Tourism is not just business in Nevada, it is the economic backbone of the entire state. According to Applied Analysis and the Nevada Resort Association, tourism makes a $98 billion impact, supports more than a quarter of total employment, contributes 22% of wages and 34% of taxes to public funds. In other words, if the tourism industry collapses, every household in Las Vegas will have to shoulder nearly $3,000 more in taxes, a huge fee enough to make a middle-class family narrow down the American dream and put it away. Them in an RV on the road. So, what's the remaining question? Is this just a short recession cycle that Vegas will soon overcome? Or is it the new normal state of a city that is gradually running out? No one can say for sure. Just know that while CEOs still repeat the promise of to recover soon, workers, housekeepers, taxi drivers, waitresses, people who once created this dream, are paying the price for a problem they didn't cause. And perhaps that is the true tragedy of Las Vegas today. A city that once lived by the dreams of the majority is now collapsing in the blind confidence of the few. No one thought that what wiped out the fun in Las Vegas was small numbers on the bill. From what was once known as the city of freedom and mass fun, Vegas now seems to be just the city of the surcharge, where every moment of fun comes at the expense of an extra zero on the bill. On forums, social networks, or right below the city's tourism promotion videos, thousands of tourists recounted the same experience. They felt legitimately plucked by. From the moment of booking until leaving, everything has a charge attached. Vegas is not only selling the experience, but is also selling the air that visitors breathe around it. Let's start with the cost that makes visitors feel the most dissatisfied: resort fees. Once promoted as a $20 add-on fee, it now ranges from $45 to $60 per night, with some places even higher in hotels along the Strip. Many places separate each item: energy surcharge, amenity fee, cleaning fee. Makes visitors withdraw their wallets, but it is almost impossible to know what they are paying for. Ironically, there are hotel rooms that are only $29 night, but the resort fee is double the room price, a paradox that people call the new normal of Vegas. Not stopping there, the parking fee that used to be free for decades is now also becoming a new burden. From $20 to $30 per day, some places even charge an additional weekend fee. The feeling of being welcomed was once the soul of this city, has now disappeared behind the automatic charging barrier. But perhaps the most tragic thing is the appearance of unbelievably odd fees. A hotel collects window fee, $45 for a room with a window. Other guests are charged fridge fee just for opening the refrigerator without taking anything. Some places add facility fee for pool, Wi-Fi or gym use, even though guests don't use the service at all. Vegas used to be proud of for more than what you paid for. Now it's the opposite. Charges for what you don't use. And that's just the beginning of the bill. Food, drinks, buffet, all escalate. A burger can go up to $50. A water bottle can go up to $24. A morning coffee cup can go up to $10. A buffet can go up to $100 person, legalized with tiny text, service add-on. A tourist from Arizona recounted, "I booked $250, but when checking out the bill was $310, with additional fees no one explained. Staff just said, that's the system policy. We also have no right to wonder." That statement is like a mirror reflecting a lost Las Vegas, where people can only bow their heads and withdraw their wallets, not because they want to, but because they have no other choice. Vegas is taxing human joy itself, and it is the most dangerous tax because when people lose their sense of joy, they don't come back anymore. Bills have replaced smiles, regulations have replaced hospitality, and the trust that was once Vegas's strongest weapon is now left only on old advertising posters hanging by the roadside. Can Las Vegas survive without the trust of those who once loved it? And if every experience is priced, what's left to make people want to return? The hospitality, the soul that once made Las Vegas's identity, is gradually disappearing. Many people compare Vegas now to a lavish, perfectly staged show, but lacking the human element. Inside the bright glass towers, smiles are no longer natural, but are programmed using KPIs and service grading boards. Corporations that operate large resort chains such as MGM Resorts, Caesars Entertainment, or Wynn, names that were once considered the soul keepers of the city of, are now being heavily criticized for trading prestige in exchange for short-term profits. According to many industry reports, since the pandemic, their operating costs have increased sharply, but instead of reinvesting in the experience, they choose to increase prices and cut manpower. Receptionists, housekeepers, waiters, who directly create emotions for guests, is the first group to suffer. An employee shared, "We have to apologize to customers for the price, even though it's not our fault. We cannot change the policy, can only bear the battle." On travel forums, people say Vegas is milking memories, reselling past auras instead of investing in the present. They still promote Las Vegas, City of Dreams, while experiencing the fact that queues of customers wait for check-ins, bills pile up, and tired employees try to keep smiling while their income drops month by month. A middle-aged tourist who's been to Vegas more than 20 times said, "Vegas was once known for its hospitality, real smile, real handshake. Now everything has a price." In fact, the profit-optimal model is making many employees feel like they no longer belong where they work. Tips fell, shifts were cut, revenue pressure increased. For visitors, this turns into the coldness of each experience, and they no longer feel as welcome as before. As for workers, it is a feeling of being forced to pretend to be happy while they themselves are struggling with debt and living expenses. Both sides, people come, and waiters lose trust. One side pays too much for too little. The other side does too much to receive too little. The phrase "corporate greed destroyed Vegas" appeared densely in hundreds of comments as a general verdict of visitors. That anger is not just aimed at prices, but at the disappearance of compassion in business. Vegas used to be where people believed was here. Everyone was welcome. Now, many people say they feel like is a number in the balance sheet. But perhaps the most tragic thing is the way corporations are losing the soul of their brands. When the quarterly profit index is set higher than the human experience, every relationship becomes transactional. Vegas is now run as a cost-optimal Excel spreadsheet, but forget that what keeps visitors engaged is not the price, but the feeling of being treated with respect. If a city that was once built with hospitality now only knows how to operate with greed, is there a miracle big enough to revive it? Once the only entertainment capital of America, Las Vegas is now facing an ironic paradox. The world where Vegas once led no longer belongs to Vegas. If before, to feel the thrill at the betting table, people had to fly to Nevada, now, just open your phone to play. A comment spread online. "I play right on the phone, no parking fee." The joke turned out to be the perfect summary of Las Vegas's loss of monopoly. Within a few years, more than 40 states in the US had legalized sports betting and local casinos. That means visitors don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on plane tickets, hotels, or resort fees to have an experience they can find right in their hometown. A resident of Texas said on the Reddit forum, "I used to dream of going to Vegas. Now Reno, Austin, or Atlantic City make me feel happier, less fee, and people are more real. But the biggest threat to Vegas lies not in traditional casinos, but in online betting applications. Digital gaming platforms are exploding, helping players bet, receive rewards, and even communicate virtually without leaving the sofa. A travel analyst commented, "When Vegas sells fun with airline tickets, their competitors sell fun with screen taps." Many other cities are quickly taking advantage of this opportunity. Atlantic City reconstructs the travel model in the direction of with soft prices and real experiences. Miami became an East Coast entertainment center, attracting guests with a combination of sea, cuisine, and indigenous culture. Austin and Reno have re-emerged with the dynamic, intimate Vegas mini style and do not come with a hidden fee chain like resort fee or parking fee. When other places are inviting visitors with a real experience, Vegas is filled with the feeling of being charged for a smile. In the eyes of many Americans, Vegas is no longer a dream, but a luxury option, is so luxurious that it is not worth choosing. On social networks, a series of comments with the same idea. Vegas thinks only they have miracles, but that miracle is now everywhere, except Vegas. This is not just a competition between cities, but a change in consumer culture. Today's travelers aren't looking for destinations, they're looking for a sense of belonging. And Vegas, sadly, is a place where fewer and fewer people feel welcome. There are also international factors that cause Vegas's position to waver. Complicated entry costs, visas, and strong dollars make international visitors gradually choose Europe, Southeast Asia, or even Macau, where the experience is similar and the price is cheaper. Many people say they used to dream of Vegas, but after the first time, they don't come back again. A Canadian tourist wrote, "I went there out of curiosity, left out of frustration. Vegas is like a museum about its own past." Millions of Americans are trapped in their own economic spiral. Inflation persisted, interest rates rose, and credit debt reached a record $1.3 trillion according to recent financial reports. As insurance bills, rent, and medical expenses pile up, travel becomes a luxury that is no longer on the list of essential. An Ohio man wrote, "I used to go to Vegas every year, now that money is used to pay for car insurance and medicine for his wife." That story is not unique. On the forums, many middle-class American, groups that were once the mainstay of Vegas, customers admitted that they no longer see travel as a reward, but as a burden. When credit card interest rates exceed 20% and real income is almost stagnant, weekend fun trips to Nevada are replaced by picnics near home or self-cooking vacations. Vegas, which lives on the free cash flow of this class, is now like a casino with no bettors left. The next shot came from outside the United States. International visitors, which accounted for almost 20% of Vegas's total visitors, dropped significantly. Complicated visa procedures, a strong dollar, along with high accommodation costs, make many people choose to stay in Europe or go to Asia, where a luxury vacation is just the price of a weekend in Nevada. A British tourist shared on social networks, "I used to dream of going to Vegas, but after the first time, I knew I wouldn't come back. Everything is expensive, and you are not as welcome as advertised." Not only are international visitors turning away, but Americans are also narrowing their own range of movement. According to data from the Ministry of Commerce, long-distance domestic tourism decreased by more than 9% in the past year. People prioritize staycation, short breaks locally, instead of flying to a city where everything comes for a fee. One person wrote, "Why pay to arrive where you are not welcome?" For a city where tourism accounts for more than 34% of tax revenue and generates a quarter of total employment, the knock-on effect of this decline is incalculable. When fewer customers, businesses make less money. When businesses make less money, employees have their hours cut. And when they lose income, fewer people can spend. It is a closed spiral of weakening. An analyst at the Las Vegas Convention Authority once said, "If Vegas is the body, travel is the blood." And now that heart is beating weaker. The sheer dependence on visitors leaves this city without a buffer to endure upheaval. There is no technology industry, no manufacturing, and no diverse economic infrastructure to compensate. When guests stopped arriving, the entire city seemed to be drained of oxygen. Because when Americans no longer want to go to Las Vegas to forget their fatigue, does Vegas still have any reason sincere enough to make them want to return? There's an old saying that Nevadaians often say to each other, "When Vegas sneezes, the whole country gets the flu." Now, that statement no longer seems to be a metaphor, but a true warning. Because what's going on in this city is not just a travel crisis, but a chain effect that's spreading little by little across the American economy. Las Vegas is inherently not only a tourist destination, but also a huge job creation machine. As tourism declined, a series of spin-off professions also collapsed along the line. From restaurants, bars, taxis, to housekeeping services, guides all depend on the influx of guests who flock to the Strip every day. According to estimates by the Nevada Resort Association, for every one job in a hotel, at least 3 other jobs are indirectly dependent on it. Therefore, when the room capacity decreases, the whole city seems to be in a state of apnea. The small shops outside Strip used to live off the local foot traffic, and the tourist staff can't hold out now either. Many busy neighborhoods have now become empty, with for lease signs hanging on glass doors. At the same time, the situation of ghost hotels, begins to appear more and more. Large resorts as part of MGM or Caesars were forced to temporarily close floors, limit service, or discontinue restaurant operations to reduce costs. Outside the center, many mid-sized hotels choose to close quietly. Does not declare bankruptcy, simply turn off the lights and wait for the time. Images of magnificent but shady buildings make locals shudder. Vegas used to be bright all night, now it's darker than ever. When the tourism industry, main tax source, plummeted, the city budget immediately ran a deficit. Tax revenue from services, accommodation and entertainment decreased by more than 20% year on year, with a series of implications. From public spending cuts, infrastructure project suspensions, to reductions in city employee salaries. An economist at UNLV commented, "Vegas is like an economy that puts all its eggs in one basket. And now, that basket is cracking." This weakness also threatens the commercial real estate market, especially the downtown areas around the Strip. When the number of guests decreases, the rental value of the premises falls freely. Many office buildings or convention centers that were once valued at tens of millions of dollars are now for sale at prices lower than the original construction level. Experts describe this phenomenon with the haunting phrase, "The Vegas bubble isn't bursting, it's deflating." If the Las Vegas, city that was once a symbol of immortality, can also fall, then what else in the US economy can be considered solid? Las Vegas is still bright, still shimmering in postcards and promotional videos. But behind that light are thousands of gradually forgotten stories of people who believed they could change their lives in the desert, of workers who were proud to contribute to the American dream, and of tourists who once considered Vegas a symbol of freedom. Now, they were all watching a city slowly drift toward the abyss. Can Vegas find the true light, the light of trust and kindness, not the bright lights outside? Or is this the warning bell for all of America, that when the city of dreams loses its soul, nowhere is it safe from this crisis of trust? If you have ever been to Vegas, worked here, or witnessed a city you love gradually lose its vitality, please share your feelings in the comments section. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share this video so that more people can see the real picture behind the flashy lights. And ask the question together: can we rekindle our faith before all is gone? The content in this video is designed to analyze, synthesize, and reflect the current economic situation in Las Vegas based on public, reliable sources of information and public comment. All facts, citations, and judgments are presented for the purpose of education, research, and social commentary, not to attack, misrepresent, or attribute responsibility to any individual, organization, or business. The numbers, views, or situations raised in the video may change over time and do not represent the official statement of any agency or corporation. Viewers are encouraged to further verify information from independent sources for a more comprehensive and objective view. Thank you for watching the entire video. See you in the next video.